All right, boys and girls. So, this is in week 2, lesson 3. It says, write an essay explaining whether schools should or should not be closed due to the coronavirus. So, woohoo, we get to write an essay. You know I love to write essays. So, what I've done and what you have to do is, first of all, you have to take a stance. You have to say, do you think that they should be closed or should not be closed? So that's the first thing you need to think about. So, should schools be closed due to the coronavirus? In my opinion, I think that they should. So, my thesis statement, remember, a thesis statement is a topic plus opinion plus reasons or facts. That's going to equal your thesis statement. So I said schools should be closed during coronavirus because. Now, here's where I had to go do some research and dig into what I was wanting to find out. So, on this e-learning resources, I have included some websites for you to research. Now, on this New York Times website, I found that right here is that I found was interesting is that most children do not seem to suffer when they contract the coronavirus, but they can give it to others. So I felt like, to me, that was the most important reason that schools should be closed. So I said my factual reason that I can support is that schools should be closed during coronavirus because students can easily spread it without knowing they have it. So there's my thesis statement. Now, I've included on the 4th grade e-learning packet, I've included on the link here your resources to help with essay writing, my golden ticket in order to help us write our introduction, our body, and our conclusion. So, to write a proper introduction, we always use the hat strategy. Because when we write an essay, it's from hat to toe. So, remember we said H stands for hook, so take another look. H stands for hook. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start with a question. You could add a researched fact from an expert or write a short mini story, maybe from someone that you found in your reading that has the coronavirus, or from a medical doctor. Then ACE is the attention getter. So remember we talked about that effective attention getters, you could write a mini story. You could say many people may not realize, and then fill that in, comma, but I've come to know. Or you could say many people don't know. You could say maybe people do not know that children do not experience symptoms, but it's important to know that they may still be highly contagious and spreading the disease. So you could use that as well. So I include, that's what my A is, my attention getter. You could also define COVID-19, which is the coronavirus. You could answer your question, that if you ask a question. You could also add in some coronavirus statistics. But then your thesis statement is what we've already done. So it would be whatever your stance is. Schools either should or should not. So mine is should be closed for the coronavirus because children could spread it without knowing they have it. Period. Okay, so there's my thesis statement. Remember, with an essay, everything is centered around your thesis statement. Now, our next step is our body paragraph. In our body paragraph, we use say, mean, matter. Now, I've also included this in your packet, and I have changed this up here for your pre-writing strategy for say, mean, matter, because it already writes your body paragraph for you. But I have included these in your resources to help you. You can see here. And your transition words. All right, so I went ahead and did 2 of these. These are my examples that I found that matches my thesis statement. That does not mean it's going to match your thesis statement. So, but I wanted to do this so you could see. So under my say, whenever you say according to, you have to state the source that you found it. So according to the article, is closing schools because of the coronavirus a good idea? Which is one of the resources I sent you. Children often do not know they have the virus because the symptoms are so mild. Then you have your mean. This makes me think that school-age children may transmit the coronavirus easily throughout the school because many children are close to each other. Then we have our matter. Because of this, children risk spreading it rapidly to family members, many of which may be at risk for complications. So that is my first reason. And then my second, I started out with, see, I have it underlined, my transition. And here is your transition words. Remember, you can pick one of these that best suits your essay for your say. And I said for mine, my one example why schools should be closed during this pandemic is it can make a big difference to flatten the curve, which I'm sure many of you have heard flatten the curve. So for my mean, I used this evidence shows, This evidence is shown by past epidemics such as H1N1 in 2009, in which closing schools reduced new cases by 50%. Now, I found that evidence in the articles that I sent you, in that one New York Times article. So then my matter was, this is important because flattening the curve reduces the amount of people infected in the United States. Now, the third reason, I left that because these are my reasons, but you can write that. I gave you 2 examples, and then so you can write those on your own. And then I said, additionally, that was the transition that I used. Remember, you have to choose different ones. So that's where you would put that there. You need 3 different says, a 3 for say, 3 for mean, 3 for matter. Remember, these go together. And then after that, you restate your thesis statement, or you restate your reason, and then your body paragraph is finished. Now, lastly, you always have to bring your writing to a close in a conclusion. And as we say, we call it the TOE, which stands for TOE. T stands for a transition and a thesis. You have to have an ending transition word, and you can get this, you could say any of these, in conclusion, to conclude. Then you're going to restate your thesis statement because everything's centered around that thesis. Then the O stands for overall message. You could do any of these things like sum up the main points, describe what you want your reader to learn, and then you could also describe what you think, what we could all learn from this. But then also, here are some examples, and this is in the golden ticket packet to help you. And then the E stands for ending with emotion. And you want to end it strong because you want to leave a lasting impression on your reader, especially because this is an opinion essay. So I gave you some sentence starters to help. I hope you could do that. You could say, I feel, I believe. Any of those would work because this is an opinion essay. So we've done several of these in class, so I feel confident that with these resources that you're going to be able to do that.